Hi everyone, if you are just joining me, I am Dr. Mary. Turning on my do not disturb so we do not get interrupted. So today I am joining you live. If you're just joining me, hi, my name is Dr. Mary Claire Haber. I am a board certified obstetrician gynecologist. I am also the creator and founder of the Galveston Diet and a certified nutritionist. I am here today to talk about something I get lots and lots of questions about, and it centers around hormones, menopause, and weight gain, and why this happens to us at this certain age. Now, I know most of my followers and listeners are women. About 90% of you are female. If you're not, all persons are welcome to join this talk. And also, if you have questions, you can drop them in the interact button here. And of course, you can share this video with anyone that you think it might benefit from. So if you're just joining me now, the notifications are going out. I know some people are jumping on live. Once again, I'm Dr. Mary Claire Haver. I am I'm a board certified obstetrician gynecologist. I am also a certified nutritionist, and I have married my two passions. Sorry, I'm lining up my supplements here. I have married my passions for women's health, menopause, and nutrition into my program, the Galveston Diet. Actually, I happen to be wearing my little tank top today. You can learn more about it, the link in bio. But if you're just joining, everyone double tap the screen to like the video. I get notifications from TikTok asking for these things so that I remain relevant on the platform. So you just hit that double screen in the top. So many people, including personal trainers and depending on their level of education and experience, even including, highly trained physicians, think that your fat gain and I have my notes here. Literally, this is my jam. This is all my notes and the references. So everything I present to you today is factual and comes from evidence-based, meaning mostly a randomized controlled trial or a retrospective analysis of data. So again, questions, drop them here in the interact button and feel free to share this video. And as always, thank you for the gifts and the taps. I really, really appreciate it. So what I've run into is I get tagged in videos all day long, and this is why I want to talk about this today. Hormones, menopause, menopausal, anywhere 35 plus-ish, and weight gain. It seems to be a nearly universal complaint and something that I feel like is really, really misunderstood. And to be absolutely honest, I misunderstood the concept. Back in, medical school residency training, the only thing that we were taught was calories in and calories out. But what qualifications do you have? Oh, thank you for asking. So I actually have a bachelor's degree in geology. I started my master's program in geology and quickly realized this was not my path. So I got a job working as a geologist for a local oil company while I figured out what I wanted to do. Thank you for the hat and the mustache. Very quickly, I realized that I was drawn to medicine and this was something I wanted to pursue. So the only courses I was missing, thank you, welcome to Texas, was organic chemistry. And so I started the application process, took the MCAT, did very well because I had a science background. It was really not a stretch for me at all. And applied and got into medical school right away, conditional acceptance on me passing organic chemistry, which I did. So I started medical school in 1994, graduated in 98, fell in love with obstetrics and gynecology. I did my 4-year residency at the University of Texas here in Galveston in obstetrics and gynecology. Thank you. And then went out into practice. So I went out to a traditional bread and butter Houston private practice, did that for 3 years, was miserable, and decided to go back into academics. So I came back to Galveston and became a professor in the institution that I worked in, associate professor, and started teaching residents and medical students and doing the private practice through the university, academic medicine we call it, at the time, and I just loved it. It was my jam. As I aged with my patients, I figured out that I was missing something. Like, so many of them were complaining of weight gain. They could, and the only thing I would counsel them is, work out more, eat less, work out more, eat less. And that ended up being a mantra that I would say to patients. I would even review their food journals, talk to them about workouts, because all of that had worked for me. So I just felt like it had to work for them, and it was the only thing I'd been taught. Fast forward to my own perimenopausal journey where, guess what? Started gaining weight in my midsection, couldn't get rid of it. That's a very long story, which led me to the research that and going back to school to get culinary medicine certified, so I would have a deeper understanding on a physician's level of nutrition, of all these hormones I'm going to talk to you about today that affect our weight gain. It is so much more than calories in, calories out. I'm not negating the law, this law of thermodynamics, okay? I am simply saying that we are not simple machines. We are complex human beings, and there are so many things that why and how we store fat is completely hormonally driven. Yes, okay? Insulin and cortisol are the two top hormones that determine why and how we store fat, and testosterone, okay? Also, how we, our hunger and satiety, what drives us to eat and what drives us to not eat is all hormonally driven. And I teach our students in the Galveston Diet hacks things that you need to do to make these hormones work for you, at least on a nutritional basis. Now, let me tell you, I have to be absolutely honest. Everybody wants to know, what's your favorite vitamin? What's your favorite supplement? What's my favorite thing? What's the one thing? What's the one thing? When people come into my program, they have to realize, are you ready to undo some of the teachings that have been taught in your head? Are you ready to learn? This is a science-based program. Are you ready to make changes in your life, to take actions that will become habits to sustain your health for the rest of your life? Galveston Diet is not a quick weight loss program. We are not here for you to get skinny for a wedding or something. Lots of programs out there can help you do that. I am here as a physician, as a women's health advocate, for you to live your healthiest, best life for the next 30, 40, 50 years if you're that lucky. Okay, how to navigate this tsunami of hormone changes going through your life right now, so you don't feel crazy, so you feel empowered, so you are armed to face the future with what we're moving forward with. So are you ready? Do you want to learn more? Do you guys want to learn this? I want to see it in the comments right now, or like double tap that screen to give me some love, give me some hearts. It also helps drive the algorithm. Okay, so every gym bro and that's a horrible statement, but it's like a thing we say. Every gym Joe and Flo. It seems like to me, some are better than than others, but it seems like they all went to the same school. Calories in, calories out. Calories in, calories out. And if it's not working, there's something wrong with you. What I invite, if any of you out there involved in the physical fitness industry, for God's sake, if your patient is telling you they're doing it, they're doing it. They're not lying. Stop thinking that it must be something wrong with patient. With your student, then maybe with your program isn't working for your student, okay? There is not a one size fits all that's going to work for everybody. There's not. Okay? When I look at my own nutrition and how I do this and how I handle my hormones and what's going on in my life and what my personal family history is and what my health issues are and where I want to be in 30 years, it is multimodal. Multimodal. I cannot express this enough. There's not one thing. So many people really don't want to change their life. They just want a magic pill and keep doing what they're doing and be able to meet their health goals. And let me tell you, your body is changing from the inside out. And if you don't change here, it's not going to work. I cannot give you a quick fix. It's not going to work. This is a multimodal approach to nutrition and health. When I have patients come to my clinic, we talk about nutrition. We talk about specific goals, nutritional goals to meet their lifetime goals. We talk about what's going on with their hormones, not only their sex hormones, but their insulin and their cortisol and their leptin and their ghrelin and their PPY. We're going to go through all this today. This is going to be a longer talk, so stay tuned. I usually download these talks and I will upload them to YouTube and sometimes to Facebook. They're usually too long for Instagram, but if you're really interested and you don't have the time to watch right now, TikTok will not store them for you to see again, but I can repost them to other venues, so just hang tight. So if you want to learn more about Galveston Diet, and thank you, we're at 7,000 likes, guys, keep them coming. It keeps me relevant on this platform. And also follow me. I am a women's health advocate. I'm a warrior. I'm all about menopause. I am here for you. I love to answer questions. You can learn more about me, what I do, my clinic, and our online nutritional program, which is for everybody in the whole world. Here at the link, there's a link at the top of the TikTok page. Go check it out. All right, so here we go. All these people are taught calories in, calories out, calories in, calories out. That was all I was taught until I went back to school to learn more about nutrition and metabolism and endocrinology. So I'm going to give you an overview of things that you need to know, okay? Turns out that line of thinking has been proven by modern obesity research to be largely inadequate. Your weight is controlled largely by hormones, which in turn are influenced dramatically by the quality of the food that you eat. We end up in the Western diet, the way Americans typically eat, in this negative feedback cycle, and it gets worse as the aging process and perimenopause and menopause hits, where you're, feeding things that are driving your cortisol up, feeding yourself things that are making your insulin resistance work, feeding yourself things that you think are healthy. You really honestly think they're healthy. You were told they were healthy. Turns out they're sabotaging your progress. And we get away with it when we're younger, and then age and hormone, and our sex hormone changes that happen as we get older compound to the part where and then we're told you're crazy, you're not working hard enough, you're lazy. If you wanted to look a certain way, it's just because you're lazy and you're fat and whatever. And I'm so fucking sick, excuse my language, of that mentality. That doesn't help anyone. That does not help anyone. Now, if I have a patient who comes to me and says, I know why I look like this. I know why I feel like this. Like, I'm making terrible nutritional choices. And I say, thank you for being honest. Let's start from the beginning. Where can we work on this? Like what are the biggest things we can start working on right now? Okay. But if you are like, look, I'm trying. I am doing the things. I'm doing everything I was taught and it's not working. Stay tuned. I've got tons of great information for you. Okay. So again, double tap to the screen. Everyone, thank you. We're at 11,000 likes. I really appreciate the support, and follow me if you don't. And of course, you can hit this button here to share this video if you think that something will be helpful. Okay. So hormones determine your level of hunger. Okay. What makes you hungry? Why do you think you're hungry? It is hormones. It is a hormone, not a sex hormone, which is when I say hormone, I know most lay people think testosterone, estrogen, progesterone. Okay. Your level of satiety, which is how full you feel or how not hungry you feel, and how and where you store fat, and how and when you burn fat. Okay. All hormone driven. Non-optimal levels of these hormones are not only linked to obesity, but also to chronic inflammation, heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and more. It's all interrelated. Okay, the interplay between these hormones is very complicated and it varies from person to person. So I just give you generalizations, but you have to figure out where, and that's what I do in my clinic. I do a one-on-one, so we really get down to it's a really integrative approach to this, but we really get down to the nitty gritty on what's going to work for the individual. But I'm happy to give out generalized. I cannot give you personalized. People are sending me their blood tests, their labs on social media. I cannot do that. That's against the state law. I cannot practice medicine on the internet without a doctor-patient relationship. So come make an appointment in my clinic. Come see me in Texas. I'm happy to do it. But I can just give you broad, general information. Okay, so hormones. All right, so the hormones are insulin, leptin, ghrelin, cortisol, neuropeptide Y, glucagon, GLP-1, which is glucagon-like peptide 1, peptide YY, and of course, estrogen and testosterone. So the problem with weight gain in midlife, and again, I've got my notes here, so if it looks like I'm reading, I'm skimming to make sure I don't miss any important points for this, is not as simple as just putting on pounds, okay? The bigger problem, and you guys may have heard me talk about this before, is where the fat is distributed in your body. Women tend to carry pre-menopause, okay? The generalization, and not all women, but is that we tend to carry more fat about our hips and thighs, okay? When we're younger, but then when we start going through perimenopause and we have these hormone shifts, the sex hormone starts shifting, we tend to start gaining more weight where we never had it before in our abdomen. One of the biggest exceptions to this are people who have insulin resistance as an issue when they're younger. They tend to be apples younger than perimenopause. Okay, so if you have polycystic ovarian syndrome, which is almost 100% of the time related to insulin resistance, this starts much, much earlier for you and the work is harder for you. Hang on. Okay. So fat deposition reflects health risks. So subcutaneous fat, which is the hips and thigh fat, the pinch and inch fat, the cellulite fat, the curves fat. That fat is not metabolically active. It's not metabolically dangerous. It is cosmetically distressing for some people. They don't like it. And it can put wear and tear on your joints. If you have a lot of it, it can limit mobility. It can make you feel miserable, but it's not affecting a lot of your internal mechanisms. when we talk about abdominal fat, we are talking about medically visceral fat. This is fat under the muscle inside the abdominal cavity. It wraps around our internal abdominal organs, the omentum, the intestines, the stomach, the liver, etc. That fat is metabolically different. It is chemically reactive and it pumps out cytokines, which are inflammatory mediators, into the body. You can have an absolutely normal BMI, and I see it in my clinic all the time, normal BMI, but have an excessive amount of visceral fat and low muscle. That is the skinny fat. You've seen these people. They're very, very thin, but they have a belly, okay? This is the most unhealthy of all of the subsets, okay? Medically, I would rather you have a few too many curves than you're happy with than have visceral fat, because visceral fat is what is linked to the leading causes of death. Okay, so the visceral fat is linked to metabolic syndrome, diabetes mellitus, elevated cholesterol and lipids, and resultant cardiovascular disease, okay? You can have absolutely normal BMI. However, when I put them on the scanner, they are under muscle and they have too much visceral fat. I saw it last week and I had a very difficult conversation with the patient because she always felt like she was thin and she looked great. And we had to have a tough, but she knew, she could tell from her arms that she was under muscle. So how does this happen? There are several important lifestyle changes that women tend to adopt. So there's some environmental things here. As we go through menopause, we tend to exercise less than younger women. And then we have our muscle mass diminishes with age. Okay. We tend to exercise, so in order to hang on, just barely hang on to the muscle you had at 30, you must make sure you're getting enough high quality protein throughout the day. You must practice resistance exercise. And we have a whole generation of women who all they did was cardio because they wanted to be thin. And I grew up like that. I had to totally rework my mindset, and who are uncomfortable in the gym. I mean, we need to start normalizing for our girls, younger and younger. You've got to get in the gym. Resistance training is excellent. You've got to make those muscles work so that you can hang on to them. So, without injuring ourselves. That's my problem. So, all right. So we have an average decrease of 5% per decade of muscle mass. I mean, that is huge metabolically. Our muscle mass is what determines your basal metabolic rate. It's how many calories you burn at rest. When you start losing muscle, you don't burn as many calories. That has nothing to do with what you're eating. Okay, that is all to do with a condition called sarcopenia, the loss of muscle mass with age. So that's another compounding factor. Okay, so insulin. Everybody talks about insulin. How does insulin work? Insulin is a hormone, okay? For those of us lucky enough to have healthy pancreases, it's produced there. For those of us who suffer from type 1 diabetes, your pancreas said, and you have to take exogenous insulin or you will die. It is absolutely necessary. It is the key that opens the lock that allows sugar and fuel to get into the cell for utilization. We must have insulin. The problem is our metabolisms, the way insulin responds, insulin resistance, all of this was developed when we ate a very different diet and we had different exercise levels. Okay, this was all as up the evolutionary chain. It was advantageous to have, insulin. But now that we feed ourselves the Western diet and exercise pattern, we were never meant to eat this way. And so insulin starts working against us. We absolutely need it, but it's being overproduced and leading to serious health crises. Okay, most of it driven by the Western diet and food choices. So insulin is the main fat storage hormone. Let me say it again. Insulin is the main fat storage hormone. That is why polycystic ovarian people tend to have more body fat than others. It tells the cells to store fat or to break it down for energy. Okay, this is critical. Insulin is secreted throughout the day, elevated in levels in response to a simple carbohydrate load. So one of the tenets in the Galveston diet is we talk about insulin resistance. We talk about, and my dog is out. Hang on. Donna! Rex is in the front yard. Sorry, real life here. I just saw my little Chiweenie running around the front yard. There he goes. He's back in the house. Okay, so what is insulin resistance? If you don't know, I think it's worth me taking a couple of minutes to kind of review it, all right? Insulin resistance it takes more insulin to do the same job. So your brain detects blood sugar. It sends a signal to the pancreas. The pancreas releases, someone with insulin resistance will release more insulin in response to the same glucose load as someone who does not have insulin resistance. And that high levels of insulin receptors are all over the body. And so you store more fat, you are more inflamed, and it helps to drive more fat to the abdomen. A diet rich in sugar, refined carbohydrate, and fast food drives insulin resistance and increases insulin levels. So there's a fascinating study done on young lean subjects who went underwent a 4-week diet. So these are young healthy people, okay? 4-week diet, 2 meals a day of fast food and high calories, and demonstrated a 10% weight gain, but a 19% fat gain. How about that? And most of those subjects developed insulin resistance. What you eat, the quality of your nutrition determines what these hormones are and what they're going to do to your body. Okay? So how do you normalize insulin levels if you are not a type 1 diabetic? Be very, very picky about your carbohydrates. We talk about this a lot in Galveston Diet. Don't demonize all carbs. I am not a keto fan. Keto is quick weight loss. Keto is inflammatory. Yes, you will lose weight, but you're losing muscle at the same time, and you're putting yourself into this metabolic abyss. Okay, but the scale says you're lower, so yay you. But yeah, wait till you get on the body scanner and see what you actually did to your body. So let go of the scale, guys. The scale is not a great measure of health. Think about your health. Stop worrying about what the number on the scale says. I fell into that trap. I know exactly what it is. Hang on. I gotta get my fiber down. Okay. Limit or avoid high amounts of dietary fructose, so high fructose corn syrup. It's poison. It promotes insulin resistance. Fructose has to be broken down in the liver. And it has to be broken down. And so the liver can only do so much at one time. So when you drink that big soda with high fructose corn syrup or whatever you're eating with HFCS, your liver goes into overtime. It can do as much as it can, and the rest is directly converted to fat. Okay, so fatty liver is almost always linked to diets rich in high fructose corn syrup, believe it or not. Okay, so eat enough protein. And in the Galveston Diet, I preach about this. Insulin levels will rise initially after eating protein, but the long-term effects of eating protein throughout your eating window lead to decreases in belly fat and decreases in insulin resistance. So again, your body has a limit, only 30 grams of protein at a sitting. So a lot of Americans will save their protein for dinner, for their last meal of the day, and they'll kind of load up on protein. And so again, it will be converted to fat. Your body can only break down so much at a time. So in the Galveston Diet, we talk about parsing out your protein between meals and snacks throughout the day so that you're constantly giving your body a supply of protein. And it's also important in some of the other hunger and satiety hormones we're going to talk about in a little while. Healthy fats. I cannot stress omega-3 rich foods. I do supplement, here's my little supplement with omega-3 fatty acids. This is one of the healthiest fats known to mankind. This is fish derived. This is fish oil based, and mine has vitamin D in it as well. That's a different subject for a different day. So many of us are deficient in vitamin D. Vitamin D is linked to everything. So I cover my bases, and I take this. If you want to learn more about the Galveston Diet supplements, just go to the link up here at Dr. Mary Claire. All right, I'm getting notifications from TikTok. So if you're just joining, I'm talking about menopause, hormones, and weight gain. We're talking about insulin right now. I am Dr. Mary Claire Haver. Thank you so much for joining me. Please follow me. I'm a menopause warrior. I am a board certified obstetrician gynecologist. I'm a medical doctor, as well as a culinary medicine specialist, which makes me certified in nutrition. And I've married all of these passions into my program, the Galveston Diet, where I serve women not only through recommendations for nutrition and exercise, but also I try to arm you and educate you about this process through your menopausal journey so that you can be a better advocate for yourself, whatever healthcare provider you choose to go to, and that you understand what's happening to your body so you don't feel crazy. So please double tap the screen. Keep double tapping the screen to like this video. Everybody take 2 seconds and you just tap like this on the screen. Just tap my face a few times. That helps drive the algorithm to keep me relevant on this platform. It's tough as a 53-year-old non-naked dancing mother to gain traction. I do. We're almost at 1.6 million followers, which to me is like amazing. So please follow me. No one's more shocked than my children who are 21 and 18 and what Mama has been able to do on TikTok. So I have no one to thank but you, all of you, for your support, for giving me such great material to answer. And, this is my gift of teaching, and will be reposted on, usually I repost it on on YouTube when we're done. So yes, my omega-3, we highly purified it so you don't have the fish burps. I know a lot of the fish oil ones are real fish burpy. If you're allergic to fish, this is not the supplement for you. You want to look for something that is algae based, like I think Nordic Naturals has an algae-based one, and it is vegan as well. The fish eat the algae, which is where they get the omega-3, by the way. That's just more expensive. Okay, so let's keep going. Fiber, 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 fiber. Get enough soluble fiber. If you've seen my videos before, somebody guess, how many grams of fiber does a woman need per day minimum to be healthy? Let me see in the comments. Fiber, 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 fiber. Who knows? Who knows the answer? Yes, 25. That's it. You got it. Burke Lindsay, 27. You nailed it. 25. Kayla, 25. True Colors. You guys do follow me. Okay. Supplements. Y'all should be getting your food, number one. You maximize your nutrition from whole food, okay? That's it. You only supplement when there's a gap. How do you know that there's a gap? Track your nutrition. You guys have got to know what you're eating and what's in it and what it's doing to your body. And that is my job, to teach you some of that. But if you go up here to Dr. Mary Claire, I have my favorite tracking app. We are partners with them, but there's a free version. Do not pay until you feel like you have to pay, and then I get like $1. So full disclosure, but do the free version. I don't care. Get in the habit of learning what you put in your body and how important it is. So fiber. The majority should come from food, but I do supplement, okay? So 25 is minimum a woman. A man is 34. Okay, so we have a fiber supplement. I'm shaking it because I need to add some water to it. So I get 25 through my food every day pretty regularly. I know this, but I supplement with with the Galveston Diet supplement until I hit 35. I have a very, 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 very strong family history of cancer. It would freak some of you guys out. 5 of my mothers, my mom's one of 7, 5 have cancer or died of cancer or have it right now. On my dad's side, he's one of 6. He is also one of 7. 4 had cancer. My dad's the youngest, and all of his siblings have died, and 4 from cancer. 2 of my brothers have had cancer and died, and I had another brother die of end-stage renal failure. So I am very serious about this. I don't want to die. I want to be healthy, and I'm doing everything I can. So fiber is a huge part of this because of my uncle died of colon cancer at 51. So I shoot for 35. I do supplement. You can go check out my supplement source. We have soluble and insoluble fiber. They both have jobs in the body. Insoluble fiber is what gives your stool the bulk. It's what, helps it absorb water, helps it pass through the colon more quickly. Very, very important. Soluble fiber is what feeds the microbiome. It's very important that whatever supplement you choose, if you do supplement or food, that you have both soluble and insoluble fiber. Most foods have both, most fiber foods, so if you're able to get your 25 through food, you're good. You don't need to supplement anything, okay? But if you're struggling, then you want to consider a supplement. Or if you want to overshoot like me, supplement. Okay, that's better. Okay. There's a couple things to consider. Apple cider vinegar, everybody's asking. It is not magic. You cannot go through the drive-thru at Wendy's and take a shot of apple cider vinegar and think that you are doing anything good for your body. That is not how it works. Apple cider vinegar, magnesium, all these things are just helping good nutrition. Hey, did she go?
Yeah.
She went to the florist?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Donna. Sorry, my daughter is trying to find a prom bouquet, and I'm making her do it on her own. She's mad. She is 18. She has a credit card. She has mom's credit card, and she's perfectly capable of going to the florist to tell them what she wants. She just doesn't like to. She's going to college in 4 months. It's time to start being responsible and doing your own thing. Anyway, okay, so that kind of was insulin. The next 2 hormones I'm going to lump together, okay? And these are very important, and you probably don't know much about it, okay? Leptin and ghrelin. Leptin and ghrelin are 2 hormones that have been found to have significant influence on fat loss and fat gain. Remember, I have not talked about calories in, calories out this whole time. This has nothing to do with calories in, calories out. This is all to do about quality of nutrition, okay? Leptin is produced in your fat cells, okay? And acts as a long-term regulator of energy balance, suppressing your appetite and thereby inducing fat loss. So if you think of a fat cell and it's big and full and happy, it is shooting out leptin saying, I'm full, you don't need to eat. You're good, okay? You want leptin, okay? Unfortunately, like insulin resistance, many of us develop leptin resistance, where your leptin levels are completely normal. Your fat cells are pumping it out, okay? However, your brain is never hearing it, because never seeing it. It's not crossing the blood-brain barrier because of leptin resistance. It is the I'm full hormone. I'm full, and you're not. Who out there watching this eats and is instantly hungry, okay? Or is struggling with fat and eats and still feels hungry? This is a thing. This is real. You don't have zero leptin. Your brain is struggling to get the signal that you are full, Okay, so I'm going to give you some very specific nutritional recommendations. Write this down, okay? It naturally reduces your appetite when you have adequate fat stores, okay? Leptin is supposed to tell your brain that you have enough fat stored and you don't need to eat and you can burn calories at a normal rate. The leptin system evolved to keep humans from starving or overeating. Okay, that's the evolutionary, production of this, both of which would have made you less likely to survive in the natural environment before we had modern life, when we were cave people or whatever, back in our evolutionary days. Okay, today, leptin is very effective at keeping us from starving. Very few people starve, okay, unless it's forced on them. But something is broken in the mechanism that is supposed to prevent us from overeating, also known as leptin resistance, okay? Leptin resistance is on the rise. Given the way leptin is supposed to work, many overweight people should naturally limit their food intake, right? But that's not happening. Through appetite suppression and other ways, their brains should know that they have plenty of leptin, which will then suppress their appetite. You think that people with more fat stores would magically stop eating or start losing weight once their leptin levels are high enough. These are my notes. Sorry, guys. However, the signaling system is broken and it puts you in a vicious cycle, okay? While plenty of leptin may be present, an obese person has 4 times the amount of leptin in their bloodstream than a non-obese person. The brain can't see it. If you are a person with leptin resistance, your brain is sending signals out to keep eating and also readjusting your metabolism to decrease your calorie burn. Does anybody feel like they're stuck in that trap? Who here watching, listening is stuck in that trap right now? Okay, we talk about this in the Galveston diet. All right, so it's a vicious cycle. So here we go. Let's go through this vicious cycle. You eat more, you gain body fat. Okay, there's calories in, calories out. Not negating that, okay? More body fat means more leptin in fat cells, which means more insulin, okay? Too much fat means proper leptin signaling is disrupted and worsening insulin resistance. The brain thinks you're starving, which makes you want to eat more. You get fatter, you get hungrier, you eat more, you gain more fat, and so on, and so on, and so on. Okay. Easy nutritional challenges to combat leptin resistance if you feel like this is you. Okay? All right. Number 1. Absolutely, these are evidence-based, and you are not going to like some of these, but get ready. Here we go. And somebody type these out so that everybody can see it in the comments, okay? Number 1, avoid processed foods. Stop going through the drive-thru. I'm sorry. I wish there was a healthy drive-thru. Stop eating things out of bags and boxes. Eat real food. This is highly processed foods compromise your gut microbiome. The gut microbiome controls everything. And drives inflammation. Number 2, eat soluble fiber. Hello, fiber again. Eating soluble fiber improves your gut health, which decreases your leptin resistance. Number 3, exercise. Physical activity helps reverse leptin resistance. Like they put people on isocalorimetric diets, isonutritic diet, they basically fed 2 groups of people the same thing, had these people do aerobic exercise, these people not, and then measured their leptin levels, and guess what? Their leptin resistance was less in the people who did regular exercise, okay? Sleep, guys, sleep. Poor sleep is implicated in problems with leptin resistance. This all feeds into each other, okay? Lower your triglycerides. Having high triglycerides can prevent the transport of leptin from your blood to your brain. So those of you who've been diagnosed, and if you haven't, go and have a fasting lipid panel done. Ask your doctor. If you go to my website, at Mary Claire Wellness, and you go to the Pause blog, I have a whole blog about tests to talk to your doctor about, and the lipid panel is one of them, okay? The best way to lower your triglycerides is to lower your simple carbohydrate intake. No more than 25 grams of added sugars per day. I'm not talking about fruits and veggies. It's the added sugars that are the bad actors here, okay? All part of our program in Galveston Diet. Okay, everybody take a second, double tap the screen to like the video. If you're just joining me, please follow. I love giving these talks, and the only way they're going to notify you is if you're one of my followers, so take advantage of that. When I get off this talk or at any point, go check out our link at the top of the TikTok page or just Google Galveston Diet. Tons of free information there, blogs, information, meal plans, recipes, lots of information there for you. Okay. Number 6, eat protein. Eating adequate protein can cause automatic weight loss, resulting from an improvement in leptin sensitivity. For a woman over 50, that's about 20 to 25 grams of high quality protein, 3 meals per day. So spread out throughout the day. Most women are over proteining in the evening and under proteining earlier in the day. So eat protein. It's 1 to 1.5 grams for every kilogram of lean body mass. I calculate that for our patients and students, but as part of the Galveston Diet, our meal plans all have it built into them. So all will help combat insulin resistance. Okay, so the other side of the picture, so we're going to talk about ghrelin. The other hormone is a hormone produced by the stomach when it is empty, and it tells the brain to eat. Okay. Ghrelin levels are typically highest right before a meal and lowest about an hour after a meal. Ghrelin levels increase after dieting by caloric restriction, explaining why diet-induced weight loss is challenging to maintain. You starve yourself, your body gets hungrier. Ghrelin, in overweight people, ghrelin levels only decrease slightly. So the brain continues to get the signal to eat even after a meal, which can also then lead to hunger and overeating. How do you improve the function of ghrelin? Avoid added sugars. Like I said before, no more than 25 grams of added sugars per day. This is the key, cornerstone of the Galveston Diet. I'm not talking about fruits and veggies. I'm talking about sugars added in the cooking and processing of foods. And now the labels have to have it on there. So flip everything over that you're buying that's processed in a bag or a box, and it will say how many sugars. It'll say carbohydrates, and then it'll say total sugars, and then it'll say added sugars. That total amount of added sugars should be less than 25 grams per day. Less than 25. Okay? So all of this is in the Galveston Diet program. If you want to become a student, you're more than welcome. Check us out at Dr. Mary Claire. I got tons of links up there, and there is a TikTok. There is a TikTok code, TikTok15 TIKTOK15 to save 15% on any of our programs. But again, keep listening because all this is free. Cortisol. Everybody wants to know about cortisol. Cortisol is, I hesitate to talk about it because it has become the manna of charlatans. It has been overutilized, blown out of proportion. It is a very important hormone. I cannot negate that. But all of this, if you go to the American Endocrinological Society, there are people preying on your lack of knowledge and selling you supplements and all this crazy stuff with no evidence base, so that you think that you're going to cure all your ills, including adrenal fatigue, with this one powerful supplement, which is complete and utter bullshit half the time, okay? So remember, multimodal. It's not magic. There's not one thing. You've got to understand the science so that you can treat your body the way it deserves to be treated, so that it will work for you and you don't feel so miserable and you are healthy and you're chasing you're climbing mountains at 80, which is the goal I want for everyone. Cortisol is our stress hormone. Okay, it is our stress hormone, and like all the other hormones discussed here, it is necessary for our survival. Okay, however, due to high stress lives, chronically elevated cortisol levels have been proven to lead to overeating and weight gain. So the way to lower cortisol is not best done with a supplement. Okay, it is with stress reduction. through self-care, whatever that looks like for you, and it's different for everybody. It is taking time to take care of you before putting your own oxygen mask on first, before you try to take care of everything else. And I'm speaking mostly, and this is not everyone, but I'm mostly speaking to people who take care of families, because you tend to leave yourself last. And of course, your cortisol levels go up. It's a survival hormone, okay? We are putting ourselves into survival mode with our daily lives, and that is not the way we are supposed to live, okay? That is not the way. And there's not a potion that you can take that is going to make you lower what is happening in your environment. You must work on your environment. It's multimodal. Lower your stress levels so that your body can handle what the curveballs that life is throwing at you. Cortisol stimulates fat and carbohydrate metabolism for fast energy and stimulates insulin release and maintains blood sugar levels. It's there for fight or flight. We are meant to bump all these levels, sugar levels and stuff up, so we have energy to run. Okay, that's what it was there. We were being chased by saber-toothed tigers or whatever. It is our fight or flight response. But we were only meant to have fight or flight for quick energy bursts or whatever. And then when we just have these cortisol levels just going, the trauma responses, all the things, we just get ourselves into these horrific states, okay? The result of these actions can be an increased appetite, causing cravings for sweet, high fat, and salty foods, okay? With the comfort foods, we start going for them to like soothe ourselves, okay? From an evolutionary standpoint, this was an advantage. Food was not readily available. Stress was usually induced by starvation, being hunted, or catastrophic environmental events. Fast forward to today, where stress is caused by daily living and not, giant animals chasing you down a small pathway. Food is more readily available, and cortisol is working against us. So how do you lower cortisol levels? Again, manage your stress levels. So that being said, whatever that looks like for you, meditation has been shown, yoga. My favorite meditation app is called Headspace. Check it out for free for a week. Change your life. Absolutely love it. I always thought that shit was woo-woo. I didn't want to do it. I was a professional. I don't need to be meditating. That is not my jam. I meditate now. It helps. If it's prayer, if it's journaling, if it's something, but something where you carve out some time for you and you start thinking. Okay, and you put stuff on paper or put stuff in writing or put stuff in your brain or sing or do whatever, but like it has got to be done. It has got to be done. Okay, so what can you do to lower your cortisol levels? Food-wise. Oh, and exercise, of course. Exercise, and everyone's like, oh, don't do HIIT. Oh, cortisol. That is the most complete and utter bullshit. I do not read studies that were done on 25-year-old male athletes. I read studies that are done on menopausal women, okay? Women after 35. There ain't that many of them because no one gives a shit about us in research, but you know what? I still try. So, guys, move your body. Move your body in a way that makes sense to you. Don't let some personal trainer trying to sell you some jackass program tell you that you have a certain body type and you have to do X exercise or Y or whatever. There is no science to document this. I have looked and looked and looked. Literally, I see this stuff and I'm like, did I miss something? Am I missing something? I don't automatically dismiss something when I see someone who's calling himself a professional say something. I go and research and I realize, what the ever living Joe is he talking about? This is made up shit. It's not okay. So, okay. Foods that can benefit cortisol levels. Are you ready? Write this down. All right. Okay. Dark chocolate. Everybody loves this one. 2 studies of 95 adults showed that consuming dark chocolate reduced their cortisol levels in response to a stress challenge. Dark chocolate, at least 70% cacao, and watch the amount of added sugar added there. Remember, no more than 25 grams a day. So if that 25 grams is in that one piece of chocolate, you're not helping anybody, okay? But dark chocolate is an antioxidant, and that is why it is helpful, okay? All right, number 2, black and green tea. A study of 75 men, I couldn't find a woman study, found that drinking 6 weeks of drinking black tea decreased cortisol in response to a stressful task compared to a different caffeinated drink. But you are not taking my coffee away. But I do switch to tea throughout the day now because of this study. Probiotics and prebiotics. There's a lot of people hawking a lot of stuff about probiotics, so buyer beware. Probiotics, remember, are friendly symbiotic bacteria found naturally. Try to get it naturally in yogurt, sauerkraut, kimchi, What's your favorite source? Food's always the best way to go. But then again, a lot of people, people in Eastern cultures tend to eat a lot of fermented things. That is a natural part of their eating program. I need to talk to Sujia about, actually I need to reach out to her. Y'all would give me an idea. Okay, I love her. Do y'all follow her, Sujia, S-O-O-G-I-A? Sujia, I don't know if I don't know if I have the emphasis on the right syllable, but I'm writing myself a note, so I'm going to reach out to her. But a lot of Asian cultures, fermented food sides, kimchi, ginger, all that is rich in natural probiotics. Miso soup, they don't need to supplement because it is just part of their diet. I remember going to Japan and on the high school field trip several years ago with my daughter, and wow, this stuff's fermented everywhere. And they don't do a lot of dairy there. And so, and the only place I was getting it was yogurt, maybe 2-3 times a week. So, she's one of my faves. So water, dehydration decreases cortisol. Water is excellent for hydrating while avoiding empty calories. So guys, get off those diet drinks and drink water. Track your water. I always have this is the one I work out with to make sure when I work out, my goal is to suck this bad boy down. Unfortunately, because I'm 53, I have to pee in the middle of a workout if I drink that much water. S-O-O-G-I-A, I think it's Sujia1. If somebody's friends with her, can you tag her in this so they can see her? She's a fabulous creator. She talks a lot about food. She talks a lot about... I loved all her food videos because it's fascinating to me. But she also talks a lot about, she's very defensive. She is the defender of cultural appropriation. So literally, I'm Cajun. People appropriate my stuff all the time. I get it. I totally get it. It's offensive. It's highly offensive. She talks a lot about it in food videos. I hope people, and so she just makes me more mindful to be more inclusive or to just understand how other people think when you say stuff. So I don't want to hurt people's feelings. I might not do it on purpose, but I definitely want to learn. I still don't want to hurt anyone. So anyway, she's great about that. So water, fish oil, hello, omega-3. Again, we talked about this earlier. I have a supplement. If you have a supplement you were happy with, take that one. But if you're looking for one, if you go to Dr. Mary Claire, we're at 57,000 likes. We're going to get to 100,000. Everybody double tap the screen to like the video real quick. If you're just joining me, I am Dr. Mary Claire Haver. I am the creator and founder of the Galveston Diet. I'm a board-certified obstetrician gynecologist. I'm also a culinary medicine certified specialist. I have married all of these passions of women's health, menopause, and nutrition into my program, the Galveston Diet. You're welcome to go check it out at my website. But today we are talking about hormones, weight gain, and menopause. So I am actually, this is my time of the day that I drink my supplements and I take my supplements. And one of the ones I take is omega-3 plus a vitamin D. But omega-3 supplements have been shown to reduce cortisol levels. Again, powerful antioxidants and anti-inflammatory components of that help to decrease inflammation, which will naturally lower your cortisol level. Okay. Neuropeptide Y. So we're getting a little more of the obscure hormones, but neuropeptide Y is a hormone produced by the nervous system. It stimulates appetite, especially for carbohydrates. Is this sounding familiar to anyone? It stimulates your appetite, especially for carbs. It is highest when we are fasting and lowest after a meal. It is stimulated also by stress. So stress eating, having carb loading, and just feeling like you just want to eat all the carbs. This is hormonally driven. Neuropeptide Y tends to decrease the time between meals and makes us feel more motivated to eat and delays the brain signal that you're full. Similar to cortisol, neuropeptide Y can be lowered by adopting behaviors that decrease stress in your life. So ensure that you're eating enough protein throughout the day. Hello, we talk about this time and time again. And so when you're craving the carbs, grab some protein. Guys, this could help blunt that response and make everything work better for you. For women over 50, remember 20 to 25, sometimes 30 grams, depending on your weight and your muscle mass, of high quality protein at least 3 times a day throughout the day. In Galveston Diet, we talk about dividing it equally amongst meals and snacks so that you're not kind of protein loading at night when your body cannot process it all and it just gets converted to fat. Okay, please share this video via this button and put your comments in the links here. If you have questions at the end of the talk, I'm happy to get to. All right. So that is kind of the main hormones that control. So I'm going to get to the questions now. I mean, I could go on for hours. I have a whole section on sex hormones, but I do not have time to go through those. That's a whole different talk. Hopefully you learned something. Let me get to the questions, get those answered. And everybody, real quick, double tap the screen to like the video. We were at 65,000 likes. You guys, yes, I have a meal plan. And we have lots of support. We have tons of support in our program for our students. So absolutely. All right, so Q&A. Overall, is protein the most important macro? I think with fad culture, diet culture and fads have just really skewed. I think each macro is equally important. It is important that you get the right kind of high quality carbohydrates. It is important that you get the right kind of high quality fats. It is important that you get the right kind of high quality protein. They're all there for a reason. They all serve important purposes in the body, and you cannot just focus on one. You must remember multimodal. You cannot, it's not a one size fits all. And there's not one perfect thing. Thank you for the likes, guys. I really, really appreciate it. You just double tap the screen and all the gifts that you guys have been giving. Okay. All right. Who do you consider an inspiration in your career? Is this a real question? Me. I'm going to quote Snoop. I'm going to thank me. I don't have anyone talking about this who inspired me to do this. I saw a gap in my own knowledge in nutrition, my own knowledge in menopause, my own knowledge, and realized that there's a giant gaping hole here that I feel like I need to fill the best way I can. So certainly early days, there were people who inspired me. My parents, just very hard workers, never gave up, have gone bankrupt twice and built themselves back up from scratch, nursed ill, cancer-ridden children through, just absolutely inspirational. But I just always just kept climbing the mountain. I've always just set my goals and climbed the mountain. I didn't know if that was a real question or not. Okay. So if you have questions, drop them in the question box down below. Thoughts on Amberen over the counter has helped with pelvic cramps. So I've looked at Amberen. I've looked at ashwagandha. I've looked at several supplements. Again, the data is light at best. There's not great data that are, yes, this is going to help everyone. It might be helpful, maybe. And it's worth a try if you are risk adverse, if you feel like you're not a good candidate for other prescriptions or hormone therapy. But I just want to be very clear that you are on your own with this. There's a very small chance it could be helpful, but it's not a great chance. And if it's not helping you within 6 weeks, then stop. It's not going to help. Let's see. What about protein powders? A lot of people struggle, especially vegans and vegetarians. If you're going to go that route, you really need to stay on top of it. Lentils, protein powder, but really everything, guys, know what you're putting in your body. There's so many just jacked protein powders out there that are packed with artificial colors, flavors, ingredients, and just a bunch of crap. People who eat mostly plant-based actually have healthier outcomes just because of, it's kind of demonized meat eaters, and I'm a meat eater. But because of the Western diet, you're just eating poor quality across the board. And when you switch to plant-based, you get a lot healthier, but you can still have protein through animal sources if you're comfortable with that and be very, very healthy. It's absolutely possible. You just have to be picky and know what to choose. And that's what we teach you in the Galveston diet. We do have vegan and vegetarian plans as well, meal plans, if you want that. Best way to get your estrogen levels up naturally. So more than like causing your ovaries to release more estrogen, which is not what food can typically and nutritional choices can do, you can make the efficiency of how estrogen works in your body work more positively, or have the effects of declining estrogen blunted because of like excellent antioxidant, anti-inflammatory nutrition. And so I have blogs about this. If you check out our blog, it's called the Pause blog. At Galveston Diet at our website. 76,000 likes. We're so going to get to 100,000. I love this. Hang on. Something happened. I don't know. Okay, here we go. Sujia1. Yeah, that's her. Somehow I got to some weird screen that, okay. What do I think about liquid IV and water? I don't know what that is. What is in that? I can't stop your Bang drink. What's a Bang drink? I don't know what's a Bang drink. Tell me what's in it so that I can maybe be more helpful. Swipe left to close. Okay. I got into some weird screen. All right. What do I think about the blood type diet? No, that's not a thing. I just show me the randomized control trial and all the research behind it. I have not seen anything convincing that is convincing to me as a physician, a medical doctor, and a nutritionist to convince me that that is nothing more than a marketing ploy. Marketing ploy, fad diet, save your money. Okay. Because you are more than your blood type. This is not how this works. How much vitamin D would you recommend? So the recommended daily allowance or recommended daily intake of vitamin D is 600 international units per day through food and or supplementation. However, 85% of women in menopause are deficient, and the deficiency level goes up if you have darker complected skin because the conversion of cholesterol to vitamin D is decreased if you have more melanin. So fair skinned people are less likely to have vitamin D deficiency. Also, if you live in a climate where there's not a lot of sunshine or you have a job or a lifestyle that keeps you out of the sun, it is rough. Also, our absorption of vitamin D decreases with age as well. So all of that combined leads to 40% of all Americans are deficient in vitamin D, meaning their blood levels are low, very, very low. And for a woman in perimenopause and menopause, that number almost doubles. So about 80% of my patients who come to see me, I check vitamin D levels on everyone, are deficient, like dangerously so. And so we do a lot of talk. So 600 IUs per day is for maintenance. That's if your levels are killing it, you're normal, you're good, you're absorbing, you're getting enough sun, all the things. You need 600 a day just for maintenance. But if you are not in maintenance, 2,000 to 4,000 per day supplementing is safe. I supplement with 2,000 per day. That is the recommended, that's the amount I have in our supplement at the Galveston Diet. Again, you can go to our supplement page and check it out. It's up here in the link at the top of my TikTok page. But if you are deficient, your physician will likely put you on a much higher dose. Like I put my patients on 50,000 per week, once a week dose. They do that for 3 months, and then we recheck levels and see if they're back up, and then we find a maintenance dose that's going to help them maintain those levels. Again, not a cookie cutter, not one size fits all. You guys have got to know these things and pay attention, or if you just keep doing what you're doing. Oh, what's good for natural fiber? Okay, great question. So I have a wonderful blog called the Fabulous 4 Challenge. Again, if you go up here to Dr. Mary Claire, go to the website, click on blog, just scroll through. The Fab 4 Challenge is about magnesium, vitamin D, and it has lists of foods that are rich in fiber, list of foods that are rich in vitamin D, list of foods that are rich in magnesium, rich of foods that are rich in omega-3 fatty acids. And it's a pretty fun challenge. So I highly recommend going to check that out. It'd take me too long here, and I would lose so many of you. Yes, you can be my patient. I am accepting new patients. You have to come to Houston. Or be in Texas at the time of your visit, and we can do an online visit, but I just like in person better. I really, really get to know everyone, and I have the scanner where I can do your visceral fat and your muscle and everything. But I do virtual visits, but you cannot be out of state. I'm not allowed to practice medicine. These are medical visits. I do prescriptions. We do a full history of physical. We spend an hour with you. We really get down to the nitty gritty of what's going on in your life and how I can best be of service to you. And so that link to make an appointment with me is up here. But again, you must be in Texas at the time of the visit. Okay. That is how we, work. I do not have a license to practice in another state. I am looking to train physicians to do what I do and set, so that they can be helpful. I cannot see everyone that wants to come and see me. Why have you gained some weight on testosterone? Testosterone is an anabolic steroid. It's an anabolic steroid. It makes you gain weight. That is kind of what testosterone does. It also helps drive fat to the abdomen. Not for everyone, for a very large percentage of people. So you really have to be on top of nutrition. You can't just go take testosterone and, So it is an anabolic steroid, okay? You can look it up in any Google search. It is there to make you gain weight. That is what it does. You should not be shocked that you put on weight. It might be muscle, it might be fat, it might be some combination of that, but no one should be shocked when they go on testosterone that they gain weight. That is testosterone. It is an anabolic steroid. It is why men weigh more than women. No other reason. And no, I have not found a compelling reason for myself. I do prescribe it for patients occasionally, but it is not my go-to. Let's see. Oh, will reducing excess testosterone help with weight loss? It can, yeah. So if you have polycystic ovarian syndrome and your ovaries are overproducing testosterone and you run around with high testosterone levels, then reducing those and reducing your insulin resistance often leads to losing fat in places you don't want it. So yes, it definitely can do that. Okay. Everybody double tap the screen. Please follow me if you don't. What is IV therapy? Can you give me more information on that? I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, I know what IVs are, intravenous. What is intravenous therapy for what? What are you putting in your body? And why would you need that outside of a hospital setting? I do not understand. So help me understand. I'm not trying to be mean. Okay, I'm reading through the questions to see which ones are appropriate for me to answer. There are hundreds of questions, so just give me a second. Let's see. Diet on menopause. Thank you for asking. Well, since you asked, you can check out the Galveston diet. So for those of you who don't know me, I know so many of you come in and out of these videos. My name is Dr. Mary Claire Haver. I am a obstetrician gynecologist, a medical doctor, and certified in culinary medicine. So I've married my passions for women's health and nutrition into the Galveston diet, which I have specifically created as an anti-inflammatory nutrition program to help women in midlife navigate these changes, maximizing their nutrition to be as healthy as possible. So how do you find us? GalvestonDiet.com. Or if you're on TikTok, you can just write that down and go check it out when I'm done talking. Or if you get bored with me and you want to go check out our website, you are more than welcome to check us out. There's a link at the top of the TikTok page. Oh, we're at 95,000 likes. Come on, let's get to 100. Let's get to 100. Let's get to 100. So on that link in bio at the top of the TikTok page is a lot of resources. We have links to make an appointment with me, links to learn more about the Galveston Diet program, links for the anti-inflammation quiz, which is a good way for you to learn if your nutritional choices are truly anti-inflammatory. Link to the perimenopause quiz to help you figure out if you were truly perimenopausal, okay? Links to our blog with tons of free information, links to the meal plan, which is free. Lots of great stuff there for you to go and check out. So, but if you're looking for a diet menopause, girl, that is my jam. That is where God put me in this world and where I'm happy to be right now. So go, and it's how I pay my bills. So please go check it out. Also use the code TikTok15 to save 15% on all of our programs right now on sale. Hang on, I'm checking out. All right. Let's see. I'm looking at questions. Also, follow me if you don't follow me. I would be honored if you become part of the family here at Dr. Mary Claire and learn more about what we do here every day. You have a Mirena, you're 52. Should you remove? No, not if it's still good. You should ask for blood work to see if you're truly postmenopausal. Then you can have it taken out. But if you are going on hormone therapy and your Mirena is still good, that Mirena will keep you from having to take exogenous progesterone. I would leave it. In general, I cannot give out specific medical advice. I can only give out suggestions. Let's see. All right, guys, I am going to jump off. I've got to do some stuff with my family. What is the name of the nutritional track app? It's in the link in bio at the top of the TikTok page, but it is called Cronometer, Cronometer, Cronometer. It is my favorite. It is free. We have partnered with them, so if you ever decide that you want to upgrade to their paid program, it takes the commercials out and gives you access to extra features. I make like $1. So thank you if you choose to do that. If not, it's fine too. Use the free version. It's just a little more clunky. But it is a nutrition tracking app. I just absolutely love it. I use it every single day. I'm a huge fan and recommend it all day long, every day. Cronometer, Cronometer. It has an apple with a little target in it. Okay, one more question and then I'm going to jump off. We did get to 100,000 likes. This is so exciting. Let's see. PCOS and terrible IC, pending hormone tests. Right. So what if you're on the biotestosterone pellet? You know, whether or not to go on testosterone is a very, very personal choice. It can be helpful with sexual, hypoactive sexual desire disorder, but it's not helpful for the other forms of sexual dysfunction. In women, it doesn't help with arousal, it does not help with pain, it does not help with orgasmic disorder, and it does not help with relationship disorder. It actually might make that worse. And so, you know, why are you on it, and what miracles were, you know, there's some... Yeah, they're just right now, it's not recommended for anything other, you know, than hypoactive sexual desire disorder, but it can be helpful for that. But it is with side effects. You are robbing Peter to pay Paul sometimes. So excessive hair growth, you know, getting chin hairs, losing hair in your head, belly fat gain, weight gain, those are all expected parts of side effects for testosterone pellet. So I'm not so much a fan of pellet therapy for a couple of reasons. One, it's a long commitment. If you don't love it, if you're having a reaction, if you don't like it, you're stuck until it wears off. Number two, the FDA does not regulate compounded pharmacies, so you don't know what you're getting. No one's testing them. So do they do third-party testing? Can you get access to those reports? Is what they say, because when the FDA went and checked, at least for the Biest and Triest, at the top 12 compounding pharmacies in the US, there was a 34% discordance. So I do the FDA-approved versions, which only have a 2% discordance. I do bioidentical. Do I think bioidentical is that much better? Not for efficacy, but maybe for safety. The studies are still out on that. So, you know, if you're on it, you know, here's the other thing. Did your provider actually talk to you about other options other than the pellets? That's their job. Like, if they only say pellets, then they're making money off of you. They should, you know, if they have prescriptive authority, they should be able to prescribe you. You know, I have a long conversation with my patients. That's my job, about different options, forms, pills, patch, ring, bioidentical, not identical. I offer them all. I talk about the risks and benefits of all. And then we together as a team decide what is going to work best for her, with the reminder that this sometimes is trial and error and not the same thing is going to work for everyone. All right, everybody, double tap the screen to like this on the way out. Thank you so much for being part of the Galveston Diet family. Please follow me, and we will chat again soon.